We're now moving on to our next talk, and this intrigues me because the title's Browser Extensions, Augmented Reality of the Web, which I don't know what it means, but I like the sound of it. It's from Karl Wood. He's MD EMEA at JoinPiggy. So, Karl, you've now got about 2 minutes. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I want to talk a little bit about browser extensions and how they definitely are, in my opinion, the augmented reality of the web and definitely an untapped opportunity. I'm Managing Director EMEA of a company called JoinPiggy. We are a browser extension that help people save money. But before we go into browser extensions, I think it's good for everyone in the room just to be rewinded a few years to when augmented reality was the talked about technology of the future. AR is a technology that enhances and augments the experience of the world around you. And it's definitely still a huge topic, a huge trend, but definitely something growing in retail. And I think browser extensions are moving along with it. Augmented reality, not to be confused with virtual reality, where people can put on a headset and change the whole perception of the world around them. So key to keep those differentiators. Augmented reality, mostly known by people in the sort of mainstream world in the form of a sort of blockbuster Hollywood movie. So in Avatar, and the most popular user of augmented reality of all time, Iron Man. But augmented reality has over the years come more into the hands of day-to-day users. A great example I love to use is the Vivino app. If you haven't checked it out, it's awesome. It allows you to go into a restaurant and use the phone to check which wines are actually worth spending your money on, and usually it's the cheaper ones. But like I mentioned, augmented reality, it was a big sort of buzz term not too long ago, and it definitely is still. It's not going anywhere. Nearly $19 billion spent on AR and VR last year. By 2024, it's going to be worth $50 billion as a market. But only 5% of it's being used in retail at the moment, or at least by the end of this year. But there's 1 billion people ready for AR. But I want to talk today about browser extensions and how they are a wider received sort of market at the moment and something you can tap into. So the web, obviously, augmented reality doesn't step into that world because it's all about sort of changing your perception of the sort of the world around you. So that's where browser extensions really can come in. And just a sort of a top line for those who maybe aren't too aware of what browser extensions are, they're a small software application that can be added to a browser extension. So Chrome is the most popular, but also Edge, Safari, Firefox, and it changes the capacity and the functionality of your experience and what you're looking to do while browsing the web. So yeah, I guess primarily I want to talk a little bit about some of the similarities around browser extensions to augmented reality. The biggest one I just mentioned, it's the way it changes the way users can perceive content. It can add value to the user's interactions to any given sort of website or journey. I think a huge one is it streamlines information, and in a generation at the moment where everything is about instant gratification, people don't want to sort of go looking for certain things. They want it there and then presented to them in a format that works for them. And ultimately, the biggest goal when augmented reality started being spoke about in the sort of media world was to hand control to the user, make them able to sort of, customize things and ultimately feel like they're getting the maximum value. And I feel like when you look at these points, browser extensions are very much allowing users to experience this on the web. Some real quick examples. There's a great browser extension called Just Read. You go to a content site, sometimes it's really colorful and there's pictures and the font's terrible. This browser extension allows you to just pull that content out and then deliver it to you in a font that you like, a style you like, a size of font you like if you struggle to read certain font sizes. So a great example there. Throughout the lockdown, Teleparty was awesome. That allowed you to watch things together and talk about it in real time. And of course, a quick plug to us, an extension that while shopping will save you money and show you where you could get your best prices. So looking at Chrome extensions, you can still see a huge percentage of these extensions are focused on productivity and fun. So not so much at the moment on shopping, search and accessibility. So there's definitely an untapped sort of market there. At the moment, extensions are just seen as these cool little tools that you can have fun with and sort of, and I think there's definitely an opportunity to engage your users more by making some tools that sort of bring content back to what you're trying to achieve as a business. Lastly, I want to talk about how, permissions that browser extensions need to actually operate. They're really trustworthy things. People are actually accepting the opportunity to share storage information or web request information. So I think it's hugely valuable to show that browser extensions are trusted by users, and a great opportunity for you guys and your businesses to capture extra data. So walking away from today, this was a really quick presentation. Some key things: more and more people are going to have browser extensions installed by the end of this year, more than 3 on average. Traditional ways of consuming data and information is going to change. Browser extensions are going to play a bigger part in the next couple of years, and development of these is going to become more demanding. So I want you to walk away from today and have a think about browser extensions, maybe some that could actually help you in your day-to-day life and how you sort of use the web, but also about your users, your brand, your customers. Are there tools you could be using via a browser extension to sort of build on your overall experience? And ultimately, it's time to get ahead of the trend. I definitely think browser extensions have a long way to go. It's definitely worth getting involved from day one. That was very quick. My email on screen in case you want to drop me any questions or in case you want to connect. But yeah, thank you very much for your time. I look forward to hearing from some of you guys in the future.
Super. Thank you so much for that. Really intriguing. Lots of questions, but let's start with one from Anna. There's a few along a couple really. Anna says, what are your favorite browser extensions that make your daily life easier?
Well, okay, I'm not going to go with my company because I feel like if I say JoinPiggy is a bit fixed. I actually really loved Teleparty throughout the lockdown. When times were getting tough at the end of the week, it was so good to get on watch a film with some friends and have that sort of chat box on the side and sort of cracking jokes as we were watching it all at the same time. That for me, it was a great step in the direction of sort of feeling like I was at home on a Friday night with a couple of mates watching a film. So I'm going to go with that one. If you haven't tried it, it's really awesome.
Good suggestion. Okay, another one here from Charlotte, who asks, what's the best, most insightful thing you've seen in terms of how brands are integrating browser extensions in overall marketing strategies?
Yeah, so I guess ultimately this is something that I guess my presentation was trying to touch on. I still think the best is yet to be seen, but I've seen some great examples where home design companies have tried to utilize browser extensions to allow their fans, their users, so I guess people that love interior and the interior world, to be able to pinpoint certain colors on websites. Maybe you were reading an article and you see a picture on that and you saw a certain color style that just sort of struck you. They had an extension that was able to sort of, capture that as an image, and that would sort of build like a creativity board that you could then come back to later and utilize with their tools to sort of build these ideas around. So that was really cool. And I think, like I say, I think the potential is so untapped. I think there's opportunities for brands to think, okay, well, what do my users come to me for? Can I build a tool that helps them do that outside of my website? Because ultimately then you're building this sort of holistic relationship that follows that user around the web and you're always ever present. So the best is yet to come.
Good way on which to end. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much. That was great.